Hello there, how are you doing? My name is Michael, and I'm going to continue this playthrough of Dark Souls 2. And we're going to continue it by going all the way down to the Chapel Threshold area of Brightstone Cove, Selora. I have my longbow out, and we're going to be needing that a lot in this next section, because there's an enemy that we have to discuss, and it's not something that is making me terribly happy right now, because it's one of the most frustrating enemies in the whole game. They are mages, spell users, and they only use one spell that I've ever seen, so they're not especially well-schooled mages. They use homing soul mass. And what this thing does is sends a soul arrow, one of the little blue lights, straight towards you, very slowly, but it is homing in on you like a homing missile. And they can spam several of these at a time, and there's almost always more than one of them out there. And it just makes this area really tedious, so you really should have a good bow, and if you don't, I pray for you. This is another obnoxious area of the game, where it is difficult to go back up. After we jump down from here, there's really no way back up to that bonfire without using a homeward bone. So to me, that's really obnoxious. I really just don't like that. They should give you the option of going back up if you feel like it. And there they are. I'm going to try to take this one out, which I can. You can shoot a fire arrow at that exploding barrel and blow them up. I only need 3 hits to kill them, but let me just show you this one right here. She's down there. I know there's a crystal lizard there. And these are the homing soul arrows. See? This one's probably going to follow me around. And they really... Look, it's following me around a corner. Look at this. It's insane. And they were actually worse. These guys were stronger originally. I think they're wearing the same bishop gear that the guys in the Prowling Magus boss room were wearing. Of course it hit me. Why not? And there's also... The next enemy of this area you can see right there are spiders. Now these spiders are not terribly difficult because you can take them out very quickly. They're very definitely squishable spiders pretty easily. However, they usually will be large groups of them. And they do tend to make me nervous because they actually have a horrifying backstab ability where they will leap up on top of your head if you're facing the other way and do like a head crab maneuver. And it irked me some that this was not in the guide. The one dangerous thing that you have to know about fighting these guys, and they decided not to bother to put it in the guide and give you a lot of irrelevant information you don't need. That one just jumped into a pit. We don't have to worry about him. But more about that pit when we get down there. Yeah, we're going to need to go through this area multiple times to get the stuff and bone back. And we have a repeat of the zip lines from the previous area, so that's interesting, right? Yeah, that's kind of weird. And there's another one of these guys. Horribly obnoxious little blighters. Anyway, you can roll out of the way. Now, oddly enough, and it pains me to mention this, but this is actually not the most obnoxious, irritating area of the game when it comes to people using that homeward soul mass. That actually happens later on, in one of the most notoriously irritating parts of any Souls game, the Shrine of Amana. Oddly enough, there may be some weird, unexplained lore there that I've never heard before, that I only recognized pretty recently, but in both of those areas, there are enemies that are, dressed as priests or described as being priests. And so you'd think they'd use divine magic, but they do not. They end up using sorcery. So why is that? Is there a point to it? Maybe there's not. Who knows? I do like the way you draw your bow in this game, because it's much quicker. It was so irritating in the other 2 games that you would spend this long, drawn-out draw of the bow, like you were using a Yumi during longbow practice at school or something like that. And it looked very artsy and kind of unnecessarily complicated. It took a long time. I was a little too close there both times and did not get the sweet spot hit. Lightning urns, those are lightning grenades. And look up there. Yeah, he's hiding. He's a sneaky pants. We'll get him when he comes down, though. And mysteriously, there is a bonfire down here. In another YouTuber's videos that were done very early on, he described this as like a necessary bonfire to get, but it's as unnecessary as possible. This is one of the more useless bonfires in the game, because I guess in theory it makes you closer to Ornifex, which is true, but every time you go out to see Ornifex, you have to run through a gauntlet of those homing soul arrow guys. So it's like, well, what exactly is the point of that? I mean, you know, you're going to have to go, you should really come from the top there, kill the homing soul arrow guys, and then go to see Ornifex, because they could shoot you even through this door here, and they can actually break this flimsy little wooden door. Basilisk there. It's a really good place to farm stones, you know, upgrade stones like Fire Drake, Mundane, etc. And, you know, you can be hit even when you're standing in here, and it almost seems kind of dangerous because I don't want Ornifex to be hit. That would be terrible. And there's Ornifex right there. Let us talk to her. How do you do blacksmithing? There's not even an anvil here. Oh, to a very select few, do you? Darn right. Are you going to tell me why you were locked in there? No? Okay. Alright. Now, just like with Strayed, you can upgrade soul items here. However, unlike Strayed, she will do one for free at the very beginning, which is really, really nice of her. And Strayed did not do because he is a dick. And I usually wait quite a while before I take the free one, because she honestly, some of her stuff isn't that useful, and really the useful stuff she gets is much later on in the game, after you go to the castle and kill some people. And really even later than that, after you probably go to the Undead Crypt, probably. And some of the later soul items that you can get, especially from the DLC souls, are quite expensive. They could be around 10,000 souls or so. So I tend to wait for one of those more expensive ones, rather than taking one of these that may only be, you know, 2,000, 3,000 souls. She can do the standard stuff of repairing stuff, reinforcing her equipment. And she also sells some interesting items. The Murakumo, a curved greatsword, which is, you need a fair amount of strength to use, but it's based on dex or scaling, so it's kind of anachronistic there. A Partisan, which is a great spear. This is probably the best early game spear in Dark Souls 1. And you can see it actually has an S scaling with dexterity, and it starts out with 1. So it's pretty damn good. A basic twin blade composite bow. Not really useful, this composite bow. You also need 18 dex to use that one. That might be higher than the longbow. I don't know what they did with this, because that's not the original design of the composite bow. But anyway, heavy crossbow. This is the most important thing that she sells. She sells unlimited fire arrows. I'm actually going to buy about 100 of them. And fire bullets, too. She also sells amber herbs, unlimited amount of flame butterflies. That can be useful for the Covenant of, the Pilgrims of Dark Covenant. I think after you beat the final boss and come back here, she will sell an unlimited number of amber herbs, maybe. And again, another character has a mysterious spell loadout, you know, because just slap a few spells on everybody, I guess, you know, because that makes sense. We don't really have much of a use for her, though, but we're going to leave her here. This is a mining area, and we can find all kinds of cool stuff here. And we can find... This area is littered with crap all over the place, which makes it look good. It makes it look lived in. But, obviously the Basilisk got these people. I don't know how. You seem pretty simple there. What does this say? Ambush ahead. That's correct. There's an ambush right over here. There's a lot of good upgrade items here. I might have mentioned that already. And we can go over and get that item, and that item is very useful, and we should go get it, because it's petrified dragon bone. But a swarm of spiders will come out of there, right over that hill, and we cannot go over that hill. This is the end of the area. Really, the playground they give you to mess around in this game seems kind of pathetically small. It seems even smaller because, you know, this is the way to do verticality wrong. We got a mail breaker from these guys. I forgot to mention this from these spiders, but they, like the nutmen in the Shaded Woods, carry a lot of mysteriously carry items they really shouldn't have. And these guys can actually drop Zweihanders, although I did try to farm them once from these guys, and I killed like 7 of them to completion, 2 when they despawn. I didn't get one. So, but you can still get one. I might have just been unlucky. And you can get a Mastodon sword, which is one of the best swords in the game for a strength character. This little bugger right over here is a troll. This is Dark Souls 2 in a nutshell. That is not a crystal wizard. That's a red crystal wizard, and they do not have any kind of items with them. They just explode and kill you. That's it. I don't know what this pit is, by the way, or what it is doing here. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if this is ever explained. Who knows? Just stay away from those red guys there. In the next room, and to our immediate left, there is a door. I don't know if you can see it there. But there is another one of those obnoxious guys in there. You can see him right through here. And you can take him out with a range here, and I don't believe he is capable of hitting you. You notice that you may not be able to see it, but the staff that those guys use is something called the bat staff. And the bat staff is a very interesting weapon because it's literally just a stick with an actual dead bat nailed on the end of it. And the bat staff, I believe, is one that does poison damage with the physical attack. They had to, I think I mentioned this earlier, but they had to nerf that because originally it increased the poison damage with a regular attack, so you could really demolish someone. There's another spider in here. Demolish someone with poison almost instantly with some of the stronger poison spells. There's no warm-up time. There's an axe in here called the Crescent Axe. I believe it was a Faith and Soul Vortex. I'm not too sure about that spell. I don't think it's really that worthwhile. And this was a faith-based weapon in the original game, but it is not now. And it even mentions on it, Sacred power, traces remain, perhaps those blessed acts are along with us. That's kind of strange. I mean, this was supposed to be an axe of, faith. Why are they taking away the faith properties of it? Maybe because they're saying there are people that blessed it that are dead? Did the Way of White bless it, and when Gwyn goes away because he is the Way of White, then it no longer has a blessing? I don't know, but I don't like this axe in this game or Dark Souls 1 because it has a weird... It seems like you should choke up on it a little bit more. It seems kind of odd to wield it all the way down here. I think you should use it a little bit more like the... oh my god, do you see that little underhanded thing? That's the dumbest thing you could ever do with it. Come on, it looks ridiculous. They should use it a little bit more like the executioner axes that the fat ministers used in Demon Souls. Now, once we go across here, there's no coming back. Once again, crummy level design, you can't get back up there. That's it. You can't get back over to that area. And we get a chunk, which is very nice. There's another chunk we can get, but we're going to have to bone out and come back. This next area, there are a bunch of spiders, and most importantly, our next enemy of this area. Where is he? There they are. The infested citizenry. And these are half human, half spider. And I guess they're on their way towards becoming the spider guys. And it's really best to kill them at range, because if you remember if anybody remembers Starship Troopers, and that line there about, the enemy is still 37% combat effective, even after blowing off a limb. Well, there's something going on here with that, too. Because even after you kill them, and they're just falling down dead if you're up close to them, they can still damage you, which is complete BS. I hate that. It's really annoying. There are more spiders in here. But it just makes the characters obnoxious to fight, and it makes me want to not fight them. I think there's a pretty good... This might actually be where you get the Southern Ritual Band. +1 in this area. Well, we are going to find that out. Maybe not in this run, because like I said, it's weird. They don't let you run around enough. Visions of Dark Spirit. Are you talking about the peasant, maybe? Well, anyway. Get a red, a large Titanite shard and a red phantom over there. That guy is the Porcine Peasant. The Porcine Peasant wields that weird pig-headed shield, and it looks pretty silly. It looks pretty ridiculous. And try to hit. There are more basilisks here. You really should try to just take them out at range. You'll notice these basilisks don't have the large eyes on them, because I guess they're adapted to live in the sand or something like that. Seems like kind of a meaningless little addition to them. They can still live burrowed under sand. They just don't have to have those sacks on their head. This fight against the peasant is not that difficult, except for this. This is a big part of some Souls fights, is clearing the play area. If you notice something going on that's about to happen. We still might get caught on some stuff. I hate that, getting caught on furniture and things like that, but let's fight this guy. This guy can be surprisingly tough. But with the Mastodon Halberd, the world is our oyster. Did quite a bit of damage there. A little too much, I think. That was kind of crazy. And right down there, that's where we're going to be going to get in the boss room. Right through that door there. And way up there is where we started out. Way up top there. Let's just take care of this. We're not actually going to be going in yet, because we still have some stuff to do, though. Well, actually, maybe, should we head down there? Maybe. You can actually, oh good, it fell to the ground, that's nice. You can actually just run through this area, but only if you open some doors along the way. So, if you're having trouble with the spider boss and you want to simply run through there, you can, but only after this initial first time through, where you have to open the door. And I think this was supposed to be a dark room where we couldn't see this, and we're supposed to say, oh shit, spiders coming from the ceiling, but we can see it, obviously, so, it's not that serious to us. Come on. Come over here. Come over here, spiders. Come on. There we go. This is a good place to start farming stuff if you want to get things like the Zweihander or the Mastodon Greatsword, but you can get a Zweihander anyway. The Mastodon Greatsword you can get as a drop from these guys. However, you can get it in a chest in the Drangleic Castle, so unless you would maybe come here first, specifically looking for it to make it part of your strength build. And there's another snaky one up there. This door in front of us, don't bother with it. We have to beat the boss in order to get in there. This is a Soul of a Hero, so that's 10,000 souls. And we got some Holborn bones in there. Oh, we got a guy here. Sunbro. And over in the next section, this is the boss down to the spider. But there's an infested human here. Spider peasant, whatever they are. Yeah, just gotta take him down here. You can just run through here and you can lure that guy out to about here, and just run around him and go up here, and they can't follow you. And once again, an area we cannot go back from. Why? Why are they doing this? Is it PvP related? I mean, that's not an excuse if it is PvP related, because it's still crap. And you can see the spider webbing in this area. And we have to go down on these gossamer spider webs. And obviously there's just a ton of spiders in this area. And we have to drop down here. And I think 3 of them are going to pop up here. There's actually an NPC summon for this area who's very useful. But really he's only useful because he can mitigate one of the obnoxious parts of this zone. It's like they created a pointless nuisance that artificially makes the boss fight harder that unnecessarily makes it harder. And then said, but let's include something that takes away that stupid artificial thing that makes it harder. I'm sorry if I sound tired. I'm exhausted right now. I just get nervous being behind these guys because of that backstab they do, that little head crab move. There's more in here. There's a ton of them. Spiders do seem to be incredibly overused in fantasy worlds. I can't even think of one that doesn't have some form of giant spider that you have to kill. Dragon Age certainly did. Or did Dragon's Dogma have giant spiders? Huh. Maybe they did not. I don't remember. That's very possible. Once we kill all the guys in here, let's talk about this boss. This boss is a gigantic spider. The biggest spider you fight in the game, bigger than the one in Demon's Souls. And she's in a fairly large room there. The rear of the room, facing on the other side, is a pit, so you have to be wary not to fall down there accidentally. And when we pop in there, she will be able to do a number of attacks. One is a huge laser beam that she can shoot out to you, which is kind of caught me off guard the first time I went playing this game. Another is a stomp attack that she can do with her legs, smashing down all around her. She can shoot acid from her mouth. And the only part of her body that can be damaged is her head. There are two heads, one on each side of her body. So instead of a butt, there's another head there. And you can hit either one of those heads, and that is where the damage is going to come from. Now, the thing I was talking about with this guy, this NPC summon that we're going to have to get, in that area, you are going to have to, when you go, excuse me, when you go into the boss room, not only will the boss be there, but a huge number of spiders will spawn right at the door. And you'll have to fight her and the spider, sort of like the Doors of Pharaoh's dog boss. But fortunately, because we have an NPC summon, he can take care of those little spiders while we go about our business. And we do need a nice bow to take care of them at range while this guy's Ashen Knight Void is distracting them. Is he using an S-stock there, or a rapier or something? Well, anyway, we're going to head over here. And when you come in here, you immediately want to break right, because there is one spider that is far away from the pack, and that's the one you want to take out first. Then once you did, switch over to the bow and start hammering the ones which will cluster around this entrance area, because Ashen Knight Void is going to be taking care of them. We're also going to get to see Seath in here. And Seath the Scaleless is one of the most interesting characters in Dark Souls 1. But again, then again, all of them were interesting, really. And, I thought that she was going to transform from all of these dragons, but no, I guess not. Why is Seath obsessed with spiders? That makes no sense whatsoever, because in the first game he was obsessed with crystals. And you can understand that because he was some sort of weird thalidomide dragon baby who was born without limbs and without scales, and so he was kind of a freak. And so you could see him being obsessed with crystals, which could be worn sort of as, instead of, that's the laser beam that's coming. But you can avoid it if you remember to look out for it. Can I roll under it? No, I'm not going to bother. See, Ashen Knight Void is still taking care of those guys down there. But she's interested in, oh my lord. Oh, and I did roll under it. Nice. I did want to show that, but I kind of got afraid, and I wasn't sure about maybe doing that. Those things can do tons of damage, her legs stomping down there, so obviously got to be careful. I think I'm going to get a fair amount of damage with this, though. And while Boyd is fighting the side that is being aggroed, we can take care of this side. Ooh, took a lot of... That shield was able to tank a heck of a lot of that hit there. That's nice. She can also shoot webbing on the ground that we were just in and was impeding our movement. It's hard to get into the sweet spot area. Oop, I did not use my repair powder. I forgot to do that. Hopefully I'll be able to finish her off by then. There is sort of a time limit. I don't want to say a time limit on this boss, but I feel like I'm under a time limit because when you're fighting her her little spider minions, they'll actually respawn after a certain amount of time. And so you really should finish her off as quickly as possible before these guys respawn, so you'll be happy to fight her and another little group of spider minions out there, which is not so fun, to fight both of those guys at the same time. Ooh, she's almost gone, but I may die in the process. No! Fortunately, Ashen Knight Boyd carried the day, and we are victorious. Weirdly enough, this is the only one that does this. You will get the soul of the Duke's Dear Freya, the spider boss, but you won't get the Lord's soul unless you come over here and touch this, the Great Soul Embraced, which is really peculiar, and maybe a hint about something we can do much later on in the game, but sometimes when you're fighting the boss and the spiders have respawned, as you're going in here, they will follow you down here, those spiders. But anyway, let's head into the room and find the Duke of Brightstone Cove, Seldora. He's a zombie. He's a hollow. He provides no challenge, and he is using a tuck. They also give you a fragrant branch of yore, a dark ring, and a key to that area in that big room of spiders that we passed by originally. And now let's go meet a friend of ours, Vengaro. Hi, Vengaro. This is Vengaro's Frankenstein body thing. He's pathetically easy, even if you just have a dagger or something small like that, because he has no poise at all. Vengaro's armor, though, looks really cool. And something unique may happen here. Yes, it did. I have the Scholar of the First Sin patch, so Aldia will be making an appearance here. This is the King's Vendrick's brother, Aldia. And I did not notice this at first, but he is actually a gigantic head with shoulders. I thought he was some kind of blob, but VodiVidia corrected us on that. He is a giant bust, I guess.
For a very long while. Young Harlow, do you wish to shed this curse? Then accept the fate of your ilk, and face the trials that await you. Unless you have already joined the Crestfallen. Young Harlow, there are but two paths. Inherit the order of this world, or destroy it. Only a true monarch can make such a choice. Very few indeed have come even this far. And yet your journey is far from over. Outgrown Hollow, have you what it takes? Truly? Young Hollow, seek after Vendrick. He who almost became a true monarch. The Vendrick is certain to guide your way. Fledgling Hollow, may we meet again?
So he just dropped a ton of lore on us, and I'm actually going to talk about it as we go back to Majula, but we still have more to do in Brightstone Cove, Seldora. So let us head back there. He said something about inheriting the order of this world or destroying it. And I assume that is in reference to the Order being lighting the bonfire at the end of Dark Souls 1 and allowing it to sort of consume you and continue the Age of Fire a little bit longer, or destroying it and embrace the dark path and becoming the Dark Lord of that world. She was just telling us to go to the castle now. And, what have we got here? And that is a reference to the ending of Dark Souls 1. Although, yay, I have 105 agility. But not really to the ending of Dark Souls 2, because we don't get a choice at the end of Dark Souls 2. And that was a little bit of that was a bit clever of them, because really we learn at the end of Dark Souls 1 that there really is no choice that we make. That both of the things that we do are kind of pointless and lead to potentially bad things. So there really may not be any difference at all towards the choice we make. We're both serving strange forces beyond our ken. And Aldius seems to suggest that we have to do one of those two things, or maybe he's subtly trying to tell us that we should do something different. He also mentioned that Vendrick almost became a monarch, which is a bit curious, because we assume that he was the monarch, but maybe he never actually became a true monarch for some reason and became undead. And here we have to continue the finalization of the Pate and Creighton storyline. And what we learn, we can fight both of them here, and both of them can hit us. And no one is really on our side. We just have to pick a person to fight. And it's pretty easy to backstab one while the other one is fighting them. I usually choose Creighton, but it turns out that the point of this little quest line was that both of them were screwing us around, and both of them were bad people and fighting each other. I don't think that's very good, because it doesn't really affect us directly. We were just sort of involved in it, but whatever it is. You get Creighton's mask, and you can now buy his armor from Valencia and Majula.
What misunderstanding could have caused this? Well, thank you. I owe you my life. My little pied-à-terre lies beyond here. You'll find some of my treasures there. Help yourself to those that suit you. Here, use this key.
You should probably just kill Pate after this, but I'm not going to bother. He's setting us up to try to, I guess, kill us or something, but he does a really, really bad job of it. Now, I'm getting out the old club, so you know what's coming up. This guy can be pesky, but there's a crystal lizard immediately to our right that we're going to try and murder. It can be a little tricky because of the targeting. It may seem like this guy will get targeted instead of him. That seems to happen a lot. But let's see here. Take the advantage of this. Those guys are really annoying. I hate that they can kill you even after they're dead. All of the enemies in Dark Souls 2 seem to be based that way. They seem to be designed to hurt you before you can even strike, no matter your skill. And we're going to turn around here, and I think this is that area where you get the other Southern Ritual Band ring. There's a big pile of these guys in here waiting to gank you. And actually getting this ring is a little annoying, because you have to do kind of a tricky little roll here. And my platforming skills with this game are essentially zero, so I'm not exactly sure what Seath was trying to do in this place. Why he wanted to turn people into spiders. I mean, we know he went insane. We know that that happened. But what exactly was the madness? Because we kind of get some inklings in Dark Souls 1 of what he was trying to do behind here. And we can see the switch. And just pull this. And in Dark Souls 1, the madness seemed to be related to becoming immortal. But, and we can understand that, especially if you got his scales of immortality, which were related to the crystals. But what does spiders have to do with anything? It doesn't make any sense. It seems random to shoehorn that in here. And yeah, it's the Southern Ritual Band +1, so you don't even really need to bother with the gargoyles. You can just get it here much more easily if you're playing, well, we can go down the other way here, but we're not, I don't think. No, we can get up. I have to always make sure we can go back the way we came in this area. It just seems to lead down, down, and down. Now let's head over here. This is going to hurt when we break this. A mound of sand is going to pop out and attack us. So you may want to do it at range, but it's, who cares? Look at the damage. It's like nothing. Don't worry about it. And just past here is the place where you can use that ring. And to the right here is something really awesome. Ooh, is that going to follow us in here? maybe? The engraved gauntlets. These gauntlets look really cool. And they're essentially look like Norse runes are carved into the gauntlets. So if you want to play as a Viking or as a Dwarven character, they are really, really useful for that, if I can find them. There they are. They look super cool. But I think I'll be fatty rolling with them. They're kind of heavy. And this is a trapped chest. It's a unique trap chest, I believe, with a bomb or a grenade or something or other inside of it. Yes, it is. But you can just roll away from it really easy. And that was Pate's voice there. And inside is nothing, just a rusted coin, nothing we need. Now I'm just going to head back. There's yet more stuff we can get in this game. There's yet another crystal wizard in this area that we can get, which I am going to try to get. And he is on the way towards a little area where we can grab a titanite, I believe a chunk and a piece of twinkling or a piece of petrified. I'm not sure, but you gotta do this constantly in this area. You know, you're always running back to go to this area. In fact, I may even die in this area because they're gonna start spamming those homing crystal soul masses. So I'm gonna immediately break left when I get out here and try to kill this guy. Nope, missed him. Okay. Well, that's what the guy is like down here. Ooh, I got him though. Very nice. And it's chunk and a bone. Good. Chunk and petrified dragon bone. Oh, chunk and twinkling titanite there. And there's one more thing I gotta show you in this area. And that is a... Oh, God. Oh, it missed me. Good. And that is a Estus Flask Shard, which we missed before so I could show you the other bonfire. After we get that, I think I'm going to call it an episode because we're just about at that time. And there's also a large titanite shard, sort of if you jump just under the area where I was when I first saw that crystal wizard guy. I'll try to show it to you when I get down there. But it's very hard to get to, and I don't even bother with it because it's useless. It's just a large shard. It's right in there. Probably that bloodstain is somebody trying to make it down there, but failing. These guys, these wizard things, will actually drop Skeptic's Spice, so you can actually use it to farm them. But that was before I realized how easily souls can be gotten in this game. You don't really need to farm anything from anywhere. Pete is gone, by the way, from up there. He has disappeared now. But it'll hang there for as long as you don't go into that room. It'll just stay there for forever, essentially. And we might also get a large titanite shard down here, I think. There's another one. Let's see, is the Skeptics? No, it is not. It's Dark Resistance, I believe. Large titanite shard. No. Okay, good. So we did get the large titanite shard, and there's the Estus Flash shard. So I'm just going to head back to the jewel and call this an episode. I'm not really certain where I'm going to go next. There are a couple of things to, I guess, to kind of wrap up in this area before, or not in this area, but in this first 50% of the game before we head to the castle. And I may want to do them. Now that we have killed Vengarl's body, by the way, we can go back to Vengarl and he will sell us his swords, which are really cool because one of his swords is an amazing strength weapon. It's not, amazing like Mastodon Helmet or Great Club, but it's more of a great one-handed strength weapon. And I am just about finished here, guys. So I will see you in the next episode.